everyone, so one of the questions I get asked so often is how I lost my baby weight so quickly. So today's video is dedicated to showing you guys my diet and exercise routine. So this video is not only dedicated to new moms, but it's people who want to live a healthy lifestyle and lose some weight. One of the things, if you are a new mom, I highly recommend is getting a wrap. So this is super important because what you don't realize is that your uterus is still not contracted once you give birth, and your stomach, if you're a new mom, test this out, go like this, and you'll just feel like there's a weird emptiness in your stomach because the baby is out, but your stomach's not back into place. Wraps like this help your uterus contract way more quickly than it would normally. I originally didn't use this and I screwed up, and all my friends were like, I'm like, you guys, it's really weird. Like, my stomach feels weird. And Ani was like, don't you have the wrap? I'm like, no, what wrap is this? So finally, I ordered it on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. And I lived in this for basically the second 2 months of my post-pregnancy because I got a delayed start. But it totally worked, you guys. And it's actually really good for your back. And it's kind of like a waist slimming kind of thing. And it helps your uterus contract much more quickly and just like go into place until its natural form of what it was before the pregnancy. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's start with breakfast. Okay, so one of the things when you want to lose weight is eating low carbs and high protein. These days they're calling it the keto diet, but it's basically the diet I had to be on when I was pregnant because I had gestational diabetes. So it kind of set the tone of me and my diet of how I was gonna eat after the baby. So when the doctor told me I had gestational diabetes, I was devastated, you guys. You don't understand. When you're pregnant, like, you look forward to eating pizzas, donuts, croissants, bagels, breakfast burritos, and I'm talking about my diet during pregnancy before gestational diabetes, you guys. Ani, thank you very much. She was there with me throughout this whole process, and I'm talking about the breakfast burrito process. But when I was diagnosed with the diabetes, I was so devastated, and my husband, who lives a very healthy lifestyle, encouraged me to see the bright side. He said, at least you're gonna start your post-baby diet pre-baby. I'm like, okay, I get it. So the first 2 weeks was super hard for me because I'm a carb eater. I feel like I don't get full if I'm not having carbs. And he showed me things that I could do to limit carb intake. For example, brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat is really good for you. Those are the things I was using to substitute my potato intake, which was a lot. White bread, white rice, all of that. And then I got down, at first it was really hard. I feel like I was never full. That was the problem I was having. I was never getting full. But after a while, if you stick to it for 2 weeks, I promise you, you'll start getting the hang of it, and you'll realize little things that you could do that will be filling. I'll show you guys like an omelet I make, which is super high in protein and low in carbs, but it's so filling and really good. Let's start with the smoothie. So what I was doing for breakfast, as a breakfast snack actually, is I was making myself smoothies. So one of the things that you have to know about smoothies is all fruit is not good for you. They're really high in sugar, and it could technically be really fattening, and if you do have gestational diabetes or diabetes, it's really not good for you. So some of the approved fruits are blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries because they're full of antioxidants and the lowest in the sugar family. So I'm gonna make the smoothie now because, you know, I'm hungry. Kale is your best friend. I actually hate kale. Kale salads are disgusting to me because I feel like I'm eating cardboard, and no one wants to eat cardboard. So what I do is I get my kale in my smoothie and I actually don't taste it. So that's kind of like how I cheat eating kale. So you put a handful of kale in there. Spinach, I like. Another handful of spinach. And you'd think that this is gonna be like a nasty smoothie because I'm putting all of these like veggies in there that have really no flavor, but you're gonna be surprised. You'd be surprised. I promise you, make it at home and you will be satisfied. Cucumbers, because I love cucumbers. I put some raspberries in there. Don't overdo it because a little bit of fruit goes a long way. Some blueberries. some blackberries with coconut water. Last but not least, chia seeds. You might think that sounds nasty, but you don't even get the taste of this in your smoothie. And you guys, this, if your child is old enough, if they're at the toddler age, you could actually make this for mommy and me. Basically, your baby could have this too. It's super healthy for them as well. And you're throwing in the veggies if they're not veggie fans that way. Another thing you could add in here is celery, which I didn't today, but I'm gonna blend this up. Here's the smoothie or juice. So when you're at the juice place or the smoothie place and you're about to order a smoothie, think twice, you guys, because you'd be surprised. Bananas, apples, they are so high in carbs and high in sugars that it's just not even worth it. You're better off not having that. Just go have your breakfast burrito at that point. You think you're eating healthy, but you're really not. All right, Ani, come over here. I'm gonna bring Ani. She's gonna do a taste test. I'm biased, obviously, because it's my smoothie, but I want you to try it.
Okay, excuse my overalls. I wasn't planning on being on camera today.
Put her on blast.
Ooh, it's really good.
Right? The berry gives that sweetness that you want, right? Oh, is that great? Because Nora wasn't feeding me. All right, you guys. Now I'm gonna show you guys two other things that you can make for breakfast and basically alternate this throughout the week. So if you don't have time to make a smoothie in the morning or an omelet in the morning and you're on the go, what I do is I buy the Chobani whole milk plain Greek yogurt. You could do the flavored ones as well, but they recommend getting the plain Greek yogurt and just add some berries to it. And I basically put it in a little solo cup and I eat it in the car. I always get laughed at because anyone sits in my car, there's always some sort of yogurt in there. Or I don't like cottage cheese, but I buy this for my husband because he's also on a low carb, high protein diet. Full fat cottage cheese is very good for you. It's 14 grams of protein per serving. That is a lot. You don't understand. That is a lot. So if you do like cottage cheese, definitely incorporate it in your diet. It will actually help you lose weight. All right, you guys, I'm gonna show you how I make my omelet. It's super, super yummy. It's Jonathan's favorite thing. Every Saturday morning, he looks at me, he starts walking around and he's like, it's omelet time, right? And believe it or not, even though I put butter in there, I use eggs, I use bread, I use cheese, it's still super healthy for you because it's low in carbs. I'll tell you exactly what I use. I use sharp cheddar cheese. Make sure that your cheddar cheese or any of your cheese is not pre-shredded. Shredded cheese is not good for you. Shredded cheese has added things like cellulose, which are not good for you. So just buy a fresh piece of cheese and shred it as you're gonna be using it. It's so much better for you. So I got cheddar cheese. Cheese is, believe it or not, good for you. It's high in protein. So that's the one takeaway that you could take from this video is anytime you're gonna eat something or you're at the grocery store, make sure your protein intake is high, your carb and sugar intake is low, okay? So that's super, super important. The keto diet, which is like the super trendy diet right now, they actually allow only 20 to 50 grams of carbs a day, which is literally nothing. Like one scoop of white rice is basically that much. So choose your carbs wisely. So protein, really good for you. Eggs, protein, really good for you. Spinach, also very good for you. And then for added measure, for flavor, I like to add onions and mushrooms. You could add any sort of vegetables that you like. Spinach is a good one, and then onions is also a good one for flavor. If you don't like onions, leave it out. You could do bell peppers, you could do different kinds of things. And I wanted to show you guys the only bread I eat, because any other bread, even though it's wheat, it's still not really that great for you. If you want a whole wheat multi-grain bread, that's okay, like one slice. But I recently found this and it's been my lifesaver because as I mentioned several times in this video already, I have to have bread or some sort of like bread type thing to get full, or else I'm like a hot mess. I'm just always hungry. And eggs, I can never eat without bread. I just have to have bread. I feel like it just like goes down well. It's the Mission brand tortillas, you guys. It's a whole wheat tortilla. It's their fajita tortilla. The one thing that's super important to look out for is it's 3 grams of net carbs. So that's super important because I have the other one here. And it's again a whole 100% whole wheat flour tortilla. But this one is 22 grams of carbs. So it's technically not that great for you. But this only has 3 grams of net carbs. So that's really big. So very easy. Whip it all together and you get a yummy, yummy omelet. So you guys, I do have butter here because again, butter is not as bad for you as you think, and it is a part of the keto, which is the low carb, high protein, fatty diet. And a little bit of butter is not gonna kill you. It's actually good for you. So let's add the onions in here. I'm gonna add the mushrooms. Love mushrooms. I'm gonna let this cook. For added flavor, I'm not gonna add salt, but I am gonna add thyme. And you could add any of the, like if you like, I don't know, rosemary, you could add rosemary. I like my omelet with thyme. Now that the mushrooms are sauteed, I like to saute really nice, well, kind of like a well done. I add the spinach. So I add the spinach and it quickly spinach cooks super fast. Look at that flip, guys. You think I'm a pro chef, right? Okay, now it's time for the eggs. I just do 2 eggs for myself. If I'm making it for my husband as well, he takes 4 eggs or 5 eggs. So I usually make like 6, 7 eggs all at once for one omelet. As he calls himself, I'm a growing boy. And then I add the cheese on top. This is a bomb omelet, guys. I highly recommend you try it at home. I don't flip my omelet because I put it on a tortilla bread. I'll show you guys right now. Just make sure it's fully cooked. The omelet's done. What I do is I grab my round plate. How good does this look? All right, you guys, I usually eat this by myself with 1 net 3 grams tortilla. But since Ani's here, I'm gonna be sharing. I'm gonna split it up equally. And she's my taster today, you guys. She's vouching for me if the stuff I'm making is actually good. And then we're gonna make it a little, basically a little breakfast burrito, but a healthy one with no potatoes. Ani, come. Another taste test.
Well, okay. I'm happy to.
And this is so filling.
Oh, this is so good.
Isn't it good?
Bomb.
People usually don't eat on camera. They like fake it. We do.
Oh yeah.
Ani approved?
2 thumbs up.
For lunch, you guys, I like to keep it simple. I like to get iceberg lettuce or any other lettuce, and then I add avocado to all my salads because avocado is super, super, super good for you. Tomatoes, cucumbers, you could add any veggies that you like. And then for protein, I always alternate with what I'm gonna eat at night, whether it's chicken, salmon, shrimp. Shrimp is really good for you as well. And then one of the most important things that I wanted to talk about is dressings. Do not buy pre-made dressings from the grocery store. You might think like, oh, it's just a dressing. The ingredients say lemon and olive oil, but you don't realize that there's so much added sodium. So that is not good for you. What you could do at home if you want to make a really quick dressing is add some olive oil, some lemon, and if you want to spice it up a little more, add some Dijon mustard, and that is super yummy, I promise you. Now it's dinner time. I'm gonna give you guys 2 dinner options that are super healthy and super quick to make. First is the salmon. So salmon is really, really, really good for you, you guys. You should at least try to have it once a week. It's really high in good fat, omega-3s, all of that good stuff. So try to incorporate this in your diet at least once a week. For the marinade, what I do is I chop up green onions, parsley, cilantro, and dill. If you don't like one or the other, don't add it in there. Then I add Dijon mustard, olive oil. Believe it or not, olive oil is not bad for you. It is part of a low carb and high protein diet. So a lot of the things that people talk about, like, oh, don't use olive oil, use this, use that you don't use butter, it's bad for you. That's all BS. It's actually good for you. Coconut oil, butter, and olive oil are part of a good lifestyle that you want to live, like a keto lifestyle and a low carb, high protein. And then lemon. I'll put the recipe of this in the description, you guys, for you guys. So I mix this up. And I washed my salmon and I literally just laid this on my salmon and I pop it in the oven to cook for about 25 minutes. For a side, for the salmon, I keep it really simple because there's a lot going on in the salmon. It's really flavorful, so I just oven bake the asparagus while the salmon's cooking. This is literally like the easiest meal to make. It's my go-to. We make it at least like once a week, and my husband actually like requests it because it's super healthy, super yummy, and it fills you up. If you're anything like me, you love pasta. It's so yummy. When I was pregnant and diabetic, what I was doing is actually having wheat pasta. I was trying to make myself feel better that wheat is okay. But now that I'm actually trying to do a healthier lifestyle and slim down, I've replaced my pasta with squash noodle mix. So basically there's zoodles, there's zucchini noodles and squash noodles. What I do is, I could talk shit, but it's really, really good. Obviously you always want pasta instead, but this is a really, really good alternative, you guys, and it's super tasty. So you make it exactly how you're gonna make your pasta. I saute some chicken. I get organic chicken and I pan fry it very little, either with coconut oil. Coconut oil adds a little sweeter flavor to it, so if you don't like that, stick to olive oil. Quickly just put some salt and pepper on there and I pan fry it. So on the side of that, I start cooking the noodles really quickly and I add basil pesto, and basically I then mix all of them together, and it's a really good quick dish that's, again, high in protein and low in carbs. All right, you guys, it's not only about the food, you also need to get physical. I did Pilates 4 times a week ever since I gave birth, once I got cleared by my doctor, and that was around like 5-6 weeks. I religiously went to Pilates and I did it 4 times a week. But if you can't go to the studio because you have a new baby at home, if you don't have a babysitter, you could do mat Pilates. I'm gonna show you some of the main things that I learned doing my Pilates classes that you could also do at home. All right, so if the weather's nice outside, I recommend working out outside because you're getting that fresh air, you know, the California smog. So I set up my mat outside and I'm gonna show you guys how to do like a quick 15 to 20 minute workout. You don't need to go so hard. What I'm gonna be showing you, it works your entire body, your legs, your core, your arms, so you get an overall workout. All right, set your mat down where you wanna work out and get on your knees and forearms. Take a breath and lift your knees and get into a plank position. Make sure you're keeping your tummy in. After all, that's what we're working out. Hold the position for 30 seconds and rest. After 30 seconds, get on your knees and do a child's pose for about 5 seconds. Once you're ready again, get back into plank position. Hold the plank for 5 seconds before bringing in your knees to your elbows. This is a bit more challenging. Also do this for 30 seconds and then get back into child's pose. Okay, the last of the plank series is you getting into plank position and moving your entire body from side to side to work out those obliques. Do this for 30 seconds and then get into child's pose for a 10-second rest. We're not done though. You need to repeat these 3 workouts 2 more times to complete a set of 3. Second workout is for your love handles and core. With one forearm on the mat, get into another plank and lift your entire body up. Hold this position for 30 seconds and rest. Then get back up and do the up and down movement. Change sides and repeat. Do this workout in a set of 3 as well. It's time for abs. When it comes to abs, you can do whatever workout you like. Start with lifting your legs one by one while your shoulder is raised to work on the lower abs. Don't lower your shoulders and go straight into bicycles for 30 seconds. Once again, don't lower your shoulders and get into the next position. Begin rolling front and back and get into position where your legs and shoulders are fully lifted from the floor and alternate side to side after you've held a steady pose for 30 seconds. Do this entire set 3 times and go straight into push-ups. Let's do 15 push-ups 3 times. If you have trouble doing a full push-up, you can put your knees to the ground and do a half push-up. It's still challenging and you're getting the work in. If you could do this 15-minute workout 4 to 5 times a week, you will see results. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this super detailed and super informative video. This is how I lost 50 to 55 pounds. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll be answering everyone's questions. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.